Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I am Shayoni, and if you are new here, I do videos on parenting, lifestyle, childcare, product reviews and skincare and hair care also. So if you are interested in all those things, make sure you are subscribed to my channel and also hit the notification bell. I'm also there on Instagram as a happily exhausted mama, so do follow me there. Now usually I just introduce myself like this, just my name and this is my channel. I don't really tell you more about myself, but before today's video I would really like to say a little bit more about myself, because I feel that as a viewer you should be asking the question, why am I even qualified to talk about all of this? So here goes. I've been in the education sector for the last 10 years. I've been a Teach for India fellow. I done my masters in education from Azim Premji University. I have specialized in school leadership and management. I've been a teacher trainer and a special educator. Overall, I'm very passionate about education and about children's learning, and I also love reading on babies and how they learn. So if you are interested and if you still think that I'm qualified, please continue watching. Right, so with that introduction out of the way, I'm going to list down a few reasons as to why we need to read to babies. And the reason why I'm making this video is also because I've been asked so many times, why are you wasting money like this? What is the point of buying a book for a baby? They can't even read. They're going to go to school and be bombarded with books anyway. Why do you want to introduce books in their lives so early? So these are my reasons and my answers to all those questions. Now, first of all, 80% of brain growth happens between the ages of 1 to 3. So before your child, or by the time your child reaches 3 years of age, 80% of their brain growth has already happened. So as parents, if I am able to give them more tools to enhance this brain development, then why not? If I'm able to read books to them, if I'm able to buy some books and use them well, then I should be doing that, right? As a parent, we all want the best for our children, and if that means investing a little bit in baby books, then so be it. Now the second point is, the roots of language are formed in the baby's brain even before they can talk. So you might say the baby can't speak or can't read, so why are you giving a book to the baby? The baby can hear and can process and can remember. So when you are reading aloud to your baby, the baby tends to remember those words, especially if they're repetitive, if they're rhythmic. That is why nursery rhymes are such a hit with babies, or our old age poems in your local languages, like those also entertain the child. That's how mothers and grandmothers have been entertaining babies for centuries. The reason they work and they remain popular even today is because they're rhythmic, they're repetitive, they're easy to remember, they're also fun. So those are the things that you want to remember whenever you go for a children's book. The next thing is that babies aren't really born book lovers, like no one is born a book lover, but they're born learners. When you give them the material in their hand, they want to learn, they want to imitate. When they see you reading a book, they will want to read a book. When they see you turning a page, they will learn how to turn the page of a book. They will know which is the front of the book and the back of the book. So the next point is that reading aloud is a form of conversation. Now you want to converse with your child, you want your baby to know more and more languages, you want your child to talk early, you want them to have a lot of vocabulary. A lot of parents say, oh, my baby is not talking yet, he's 2 years old, he's 2.5 years old. A lot of this also depends on how much the baby is spoken to. Books give you that conversation starter, they give you a point to talk about. I have a tip: if your caregiver for your baby is someone who can't read, even then give them books. They can always talk about the pictures. What babies need is conversation. They want someone to engage with, someone to play with, and if they are not playing, if they are not engaging, then they are bored and they are going to be disruptive. Studies show that kids who are read to, or toddlers or even babies, are less disruptive and hyperactive than babies or toddlers who aren't read to, who have not been exposed to books. If your caregiver is someone who is not naturally a very good talker, So for example, my dad spends a lot of time with my son. My son ends up in his care for very long periods of time because we are working from home and we're usually locked up in our rooms taking classes or whatever. My dad isn't that great at talking, as I mentioned. So what he likes doing is sit with books. So he reads nursery rhymes, different songs and different stories, and my son knows exactly which books to take to his grandfather because he knows those are the books that he will enjoy reading with his grandfather. And my dad also remains engaged and he likes that time that he gets to bond with his grandson. So you can also do the same. It's a great conversation starter. I have written on all these points and don't want to miss any of them. So next is I will go into a little more scientific reasoning. So it strengthens working memory. It's being built by babies every single day. Short-term memory is required when you give your baby an order. So you say, bring me the glass of water. So your child should be able to process that entire statement and bring you that glass of water. Working memory works. This is the simplest way to explain working memory. And books help in working memory because they're supposed to remember what happened in the previous page to understand what's happening in the next page. It also improves their reasoning, their cognitive abilities, and these are all skills which are going to pave the way for success for your child. And I don't mean academic success. I am not a very academic oriented person. I'm not someone who will strive for their child to be first in class, but someone who enjoys learning, someone who looks forward to learning, and has the hunger to know more and to learn in a manner which is going to keep them engaged and is going to make them lifelong learners. So that is what I am interested in, and books do all of that. Next is it also the children learn to associate books with happiness. When you spend that time with your child, when you're holding your child in your lap and you're reading it aloud with them, and you are making fun noises and you're putting in a lot of expression, they begin to associate reading books with happiness. And that is what all parents want, right? Like, you want your babies to associate books with happiness. You want them to be excited when they go into a bookstore, as excited as they are to go into a gaming arcade. So those are the qualities that you will inculcate when you read to babies and when you start really early on. Next is it also keeps them from digital screens and devices. I think this is one of the most important things for our generation, right? As parents, we're always on our screen, we're always looking at our phones. For work, thanks to work from home situations, we always are glued to our screens. So that is what babies also naturally want, and it gives us also some space, right? You give them a phone and they are quiet and they won't disturb you. You need to inculcate the habit of giving them books. So when you carry a book with you to a doctor's visit or to a restaurant, then instead of looking at the screen, they're looking at a book. Give them books that engage them. Give them books that they are going to be able to read again and again, or look at the pictures, or have some sort of scratchy surface. They can play with the book. So invest in those books rather than giving them a mobile phone, which if they break, you're going to get really, really mad. Now, the last thing is that books are a great way to increase their knowledge of the world. Not every baby is exposed to the outside world, especially during lockdown. I would emphasize on this point. They are stuck at home. You want them to know about the world more, and books are the best way to do that. As a book lover myself, I have always used books as a means of escaping from the present day scenario, from being transported somewhere else, and I want my son to get that sort of experience, to be happy with books. And therefore, if used properly, and if you as an adult are then engaging with the child, engagement is very, very important. I would end with saying this, that you cannot just buy a stack of books and throw it at them. You need to engage with them with the books, and that is when they will like to read books. You need to inculcate that habit with them from as early as you can. Now, the second part of this video, I'm going to talk about how I made my child love books. So if you want to listen to that, make sure to subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell. Till then, happy reading, happy viewing, and take care of yourselves. Bye bye.